So what you want to do to get started is create a design. And I have a Cricut Maker. If you do not have an electronic cutting machine, you can die cut something and use it. So don't feel like you have to have an electronic cutting machine. You can go ahead and die cut something, and you want to use vinyl or contact paper because that's what you're going to protect the rest of the surface with. Now, I wasn't sure if you'd be able to see this. Let me bring it up. So this I cut with my Cricut, and this is permanent vinyl. It's 651 vinyl, so it's really sticky, and you're able to use that on the coaster. There you can see it right there, just a little bit. But so I cut 6 of those out, and here you can see I've already started. Normally you would peel away all of this and leave the part I'm taking away because you would be putting this on something, but I'm using it as a stencil. So I'm taking away the parts that you would normally leave. So I took away the swirl, and I wanted these little tiny lines to separate the name, to really define it. And then I just came in here with my little prick thing from Cricut. You can use a needle. You can use an X-Acto knife. Etched has a little knife that you can use. But you pull away that part. If you were super careful, you could keep this and use it for a project. But I wasn't careful. I just poked at it until I got everything away that I wanted to get off of it. And then once you have that ready, you're going to want some transfer tape. Now there's all sorts of transfer tape, and I have several different kinds, but I thought the transfer tape with the lines would help me line it up better on my coaster. So I chose this, and you just peel it away from the backing. And I'm working upside down, so I'm going to try and get this straight. That is not straight. Okay, so we're going to go with it. So you just put it down. It's just a little crooked down there at the bottom. And then you rub this so that the vinyl will adhere to the transfer tape. Okay. And the part you have to be super careful with is the inside of the B and the R, because those will want to pull up. But I'll show you a trick to make them stay. Just rub those just a little bit more. But you take and you rub this. You can rub it with, this is a Squeege from Etched, or you can use your Cricut Squeege. You just want to make sure that that transfers easily. And then we're going to pull it away. So right there you can see the vinyl is on the transfer tape. And I just work at it slowly and come down one side here. And oh, see, the inside of the B picked up nicely. So if you rub it really good, it picks up, but sometimes it doesn't. And if it doesn't, just push it back down and press it together and then pull up. And that will help it to transfer for you. Like right there, you just got to press on it and press it onto that transfer tape. Now, the R, right there, you just press it onto that transfer tape and pull. like that. So there you have it. And this is what it looks like. And we're going to apply this to the coaster. Now, I'm going to turn it around so I can maybe get it a little more straight if it's facing me and I can see it. And you want your vinyl cut a little bit larger than the coaster because you don't want any of the coaster exposed, because you don't want the cream to get on a part that you don't want etched. If you had this cut smaller than your coaster, you could just use some extra vinyl around the edges or some tape to protect those edges. So I'm going to place this down. And before I have it down, I'm going to see like right there where my edge is to make sure it's about the same distance. And then my edges on the side. See, I can tell that this is over too far this way. So do that again. There, and that's up too high. So you just have to play with it a little bit, and getting it straight is what I think is the hardest part for me. Okay, so I think that's good. And then you're going to press it. And you want to press it down really good. So I start out by using my fingers to press it. And then I come in with the squeegee and I press it even more because you want to transfer this vinyl onto the coaster. So you just work that to transfer it, and then you're going to come and pull the transfer tape off. And this I do kind of slowly and pull it down too as I'm doing it. And just take your time because, okay, see the B, the inside of the B came up. Just come back and press that down. And make sure it stays in place. So working slowly helps during this process because then you're making sure you're not moving it at all, and just press as you go. Like right there, part of that T wants to come up. So I just grab it. And now I want to be real careful with these two little insides of the B. Like that. Now, you can reuse this transfer tape if you're making like I am. I'm doing a set of 6. So I can reuse this. So I'll just put it back on that backing. And then even though it has a couple of specks on it, that's not going to hurt because all you're doing is pulling this up. Okay. Hi, Sylvia. So then you come back in and you're going to rub because you want that to be a secure bond with this coaster because you don't want any of the etching cream to get underneath because you want it to be as clean as it looks right here. So I just take the squeegee and make sure the inside of that B is down and make sure that inside of that R is down. And you can see that this is larger than my coaster, so I'm protecting the edges that I don't want etched. So once you have that on there, I'm going to take a tray because I'm doing this on camera. And of course, I don't want anything spilling out. And this is a cream, so it holds up really well. It doesn't run a lot of places. And I just open that up. And then I take just a craft stick. And you can pour it out on there. And then you just spread it on all of those open areas. So you can see where you want that to be a nice and secure bond. So you spread that on all of the open areas. And like I said, it doesn't matter if you think you've used too much. It's going to stay. It's not going to run everywhere because it's a cream and it's reusable. So I have one here that I did right before I went live, because you will let this sit for 15 minutes. It's okay if you go a little over 15 minutes. But this is the one that I did right before we went live. And you can take all of this extra cream and put it back in the jar because it's reusable. That's what's so fantastic about this product, is there's no waste. You won't get every single drop, but all of this excess that's just sitting there, you're able to put back in here. And like I said at the beginning, you don't want to water this cream down because it does change its properties. So this is a little easier to do over my, I'll go down to my laundry room and use my sink down there and just scrape it all. I'll have this sitting down and I'll scrape it all back in. So it's a little more challenging doing it this way. But I want you guys to see that you're able to save all of that extra cream. And that's why one bottle goes a long ways. And again, I'm doing it on slate, but this cream can be used on glass and marble. And I will put in the Etch All Facebook page for you guys to check out after I'm done. Because on their Facebook page, they have a bunch of projects, and they also have links to their blog and their website. So you can check out a lot of the how-tos. So, and this is why you can see why you want all those edges protected, because you don't want any of this excess going on those exposed edges. So I think this is all I'm going to try to get here. And I'm going to set that right there. And then I'm going to take a baby wipe and wipe the rim of my jar. Because if I don't use this for a while and I have something, it's the same with paint or glue or anything. If you have a mess on the rim and you close it, it makes it impossible to get that cover off. And inside here, I just have a tiny bit right there that I want to wipe away. And then that way it's good until I use it again. And it won't be hard to open. So now, normally you would do this at a sink, but I brought some water. Move that up. I brought some water so that I could get the rest of this off and wipe it away. And I always do this. If I'm doing it in my sink, I do it in my utility sink, not in my kitchen sink. So that's all nice and clean. I'm going to take a paper towel, wipe my hand, wipe this, and kind of move this out of the way. So this one was sitting just a little bit more than 15 minutes because I did it right before I went live. And so this one sat just a little bit longer. But then all you do is pull away all of this vinyl. And you'll only use these once. It's not like you can make 6 coasters with one piece of vinyl. I made 6 pieces. And then I come in and get all of the rest of this excess off. And you can see it faintly, but peel that off. And peel this off. There we go. And I'm going to take a baby wipe and wipe it. Isn't that cool? It is just so cool and so quick and so easy. And you can personalize these any way you want. You can do designs. You can do, like I said, if you don't have a Cricut machine or electronic cutting machine, just die cut something or cut something out. You can punch a lot of little stars and put all over and then put the etching cream on top. But isn't that great? This one's a little wet, but this is what it looks like when it's all done. And I just love it. It is so easy to do. And like I said, you do 6 of these, wrap them with some twine or some pretty ribbon. Just a perfect gift for anyone or any occasion.